teaching students how to avoid common grammar errors can actually be fun. Dare I say that? And help you improve their writing at the same time. It's totally possible. And when you can utilize a no prep activity to make grammar fun, all of a sudden you're easily able to capture your students' attention and you're able to create an experience where they're actively involved in their learning. And that makes it so much more likely for them to remember the concepts that are being taught. So in this lesson that I'm going to share with you today, students will learn all about illogical verb shifts, pronoun errors, and then sentence variety. And they're going to participate in basically a no prep golden grammar hunt activity. So I'm going to walk you through some of this grammatical quest activity, and I've also included a link for you where you're watching this video where you can grab it completely free as well. So you have the resource and we'll talk about it in this video. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So students will learn all about illogical verb shifts, pronoun errors, and sentence variety. And then using this knowledge, they will then work in small groups. And they're gonna race to find gold that an old map maker hid over 200 years ago. So it's really cool, the theme around this. So the grammar hunt's actually broken into 3 different parts, just like our EB grammar program. That's direct instruction, engaging hands-on games and activities, and then finally application to writing. So part 1 is all about direct instruction. And in part 1 of this particular lesson, students will review verb tenses, pronoun errors, sentence variety, etc. in short bite-sized examples. And it's all done in a really fun gold hunt themed booklet like you can see on your screen right now. And then after the direct instruction, it's time for those hands-on activities, right? Those games that students are going to participate in. So in part 2 of our Golden Grammar Hunt, students participate in different grammar-related tasks in a really engaging format. So as you can see on your screen, here is an excerpt from task number 1. And this gives students some background information, a quick engaging story that goes along with the theme, and then the task at hand, which is to look through the clues, follow the map given to them, and then solve the puzzles. Super fun for students, right? Talk about taking grammar to just a totally different level. Now students will read through 2 journal entries from a character that we're calling Uncle Wes, and they'll notice that Uncle Wes really didn't know a whole heck of a lot about verb shifts and pronoun errors as they do now after getting that bite-sized lesson from part number 1. So as students read through his journal entries, they will use their grammar knowledge to find any of those illogical verb shifts or those pronoun errors that they learned about in part 1. Now, when they find an error, they will match it with coordinates of a provided map to start to locate the hidden gold. So it's really super engaging, right? Talk about taking grammar to just the next level. And then in the second task of part 2, students will look at the various locations that they discovered from the coordinates on their map in part 1. And these locations include images of like trees, an abandoned barn, things along those lines. And then students will practice describing these locations, focusing on sentence variety. So their grammar booklet from the direct instruction part of part 1, that's going to help students with this task as they also practice avoiding those illogical verb shifts and those pronoun errors that they've already learned about. So you can start to see they're practicing it over and over again. And because this part of the lesson is incredibly engaging, and there's of course that element of competition among the groups as they try to be the first to correctly complete these tasks, it naturally increases student motivation, right? This isn't a typical boring grammar drill where they're just filling out sentences on a piece of paper. Instead, students are encouraged to actively participate in the learning process. And because they are so involved, they are so much more likely to actually grasp these grammar principles and then also have them stick. Now, after students complete those fun tasks, the third and final part of our EB grammar framework comes into play, and that is application to writing. So students will read through more journal entries that contain grammar errors, and they will not only need to find the errors, but they will need to fix them as well. And since this particular Golden Hunt grammar activity only focuses on crafting better sentences using correct verb shifts, it's completely approachable for students, right? We're focusing on one specific skill. Now, this activity can be done anytime during the school year, but we especially recommend it in September toward the start of the year because it really sets the tone that grammar isn't boring. Fill in the blank worksheets. It doesn't have to be like that. Students are actually engaged. They are actually having fun and completing the activity. And like I've said, it makes it so much more likely that this content is actually going to stick with them. And the beauty of this activity is that it covers common grammar skills that all students can benefit from. So whether you teach 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, or 8th grade, this activity is going to help your students. Again, like I said, you can grab it completely free in the comment section below, and then be sure to join the waitlist for our EB Grammar program while you're at it.